Hiya, and welcome back to Eden's Reach. The game that teaches us that it's good to be back. Anyways, let's hop right in. We can still make it out before Ox Power comes online. Come on! A few minutes go by with Ray and I trying our best to distance ourselves from the group of lions. I'm not sure if they have us figured out, but I'm not going to risk it at all. I pretend to be busy with the sound panels, and Ray does the same with the bar. A few lines pass by, but Diego lingers a bit and leans on one of the fountains on the stage. Ugh, this is so boring. Why'd I even let him rope me into this job? I glance his way and our eyes meet a bit. I flinch a little and quickly look downwards as my muscles tense slightly. You agree with me, right? Wait, I gotta check something. Alright. Shit! He's talking to me again. I manage to give him a sheepish nod, to which the lion scoffs to himself. Guess you're too busy looking prim for these folks, eh? Well, guess there ain't no decent convo to be had here. Suddenly, his form stiffens, quickly focusing on his hearing. He steps off the fountains and looks above. The chandeliers seem to be lightly swaying. He squints to protect his eyes from the dust particles falling off the metal poles on the ceiling. Suddenly, the alarms start blaring and the crowd enters a confused panic, inching away before going on a full sprint towards the door. I'm taken aback as well, the blaring reds of alarms I didn't know existed putting me in a bit of a daze. A grip fastens itself on my arm and my gaze directly falls onto Ray. Come on! Gotta get out of here! He pulls on my arm to convince me to come with him, but his hold loosens when a familiar form appears before us, followed by a trail of yellow light. It was the Fennec. His outfit completely changed to something with the familiar emblem. The Omega sign. This Fennec's part of the Omega squad. Guard the perimeter! I'll evacuate the civilians! Diego nods before the Fennec disappears again with that same yellow trail. I look behind me, expecting Ray to be there, but he's nowhere to be found. Husky, get your ass off the floor and... Roland all of a sudden shouts from a distance. Diego, get to cover! Diego does a double take on Roland and me. Stay low. I'll tell you when the coast is clear. Diego pounces for a nearby table and hoists himself upwards, vaulting over it as the storage room doors burst open, metal clanging on the marble flooring with smoke trailing as they fall. Okay, the music's a little too loud. Here we go. Smoke trailing as they fall. Two silhouettes emerge from the smoke as I lay low under the sound panel desk. I peek on the top of the panel for a moment, only see Benji donning his mask, and who I assume to be Oswald, who's done away with his tux and into an entirely different outfit that I haven't seen him in before. His red tattoo glows vibrantly against the red alarms. Its glow remains against the weakened power lines which cut off the alarm system. So much for a classy exit. I look around me, glancing towards a crouched down Diego, who is looking at me intensely. He mouths a few words at me before tightening his lean on the table. Stay hidden. He slowly peeks through the corner of the table before eyeing me again. He then readjusts his position to face me, looking intent to bolt towards me. I gulp and brace for what I expect is going to be the most intense impact of my life. He takes a deep breath and... he violently rushes towards me in the motion of reaching for me under the sound panels. I close my eyes tightly, hearing only his muffled footsteps quickly approaching. Then, I hear a loud bang come from the opposite side. Did Oswald shoot that? I hesitate to open my eyes, unsure whether I'll see a body in front of me. I open one eye and see a blurry figure hunched over. With my fear slowly being realized, I open my eyes fully. To my surprise, he's still breathing. There's another figure standing tall in front of Diego, a bullet trapped in between his fingers. It was the Fennec Fox who began to twirl the empty bullet on his knuckles. You're welcome. Suddenly, Roland peeks from the corner even further back. Diego! Before the older lion's presence sinks in for me, another loud bang comes from the other side, and the Fennec reacts in no time, disappearing once more in a flash. Before I managed to even blink, the Fennec was already holding the other bullet in his hand. He glares at Oswald and Benji just as the wolf unloads the empty casing from the chamber before quickly firing 2 consecutive shots. Both bullets are blocked in the same way as the previous 2. The Fennec then drops all the bullets onto the floor. How barbaric. I look back to Oswald and Benji. The 2 hastily move to find cover. Then I inch towards them, making sure Diego doesn't see me doing so. That Fennec's fast, unnaturally fast. Safe bet to assume that's our Omega Squad pain in the ass. Doesn't matter. If he can be shot, he's another kill. The bullets aren't going to hit him easily, though. Not while he's focused. Go the long way around. Distract them. Make sure to watch my back, then. Benji sighs before he peeks through the opposite corner of their cover. The Fennec, in contrast, balances on top of one of the upended tables proudly. Well then, you 2 must be part of that group that's been causing trouble for us, Whatever it is you plan on doing, it ends here all thanks to me, Vayu, the shooting star. Before Vayu could finish his flourish, Oswald shoots once again. This causes the Omega Squad member to dodge sideways as that yellow trail envelops his form. His speed and agility. He's able to go from one point to the next in the blink of an eye. Is this what Alex meant when she said that the Omega Squad is filled with super soldiers? Arrogant little prick. Oswald lowers back to his cover, loosening his grip on his rifle. He tosses it up in the air. It dissipates into hard light before the lions manage to see it. I peek a bit to the side, and that's when Oswald's head tilts in my direction. No fucking way. Oswald! Suddenly, bullets start chipping off the corners of the table, thinning out Oswald's cover. He responds right away by sticking a device onto the underside of the table, coating it in a hard light shield. What do I do? Oswald taps his tattoo again. A new gun appears on his hand shortly after. Just try not to get in the way. And don't die! The wolf peeks again, observing the impromptu battlefield before them. 3 rows of lions, presumably called by Roland and Diego, now litter the building. Oswald lowers once more, spinning his body to have his feet face the table. He then bends his knees, followed by a swift and forceful kick on the table, pushing it forward in the direction of the lions. As the table flies, Oswald uses his free hand to push himself in the same direction. Incoming! Oswald's cover stops just a few inches from the first row of lions. Oswald is quick to act, though. He raises the hard light behind him to extend from the side of the table towards the ceiling. He repositions himself with haste, already ready to fire. 2 lions peek out from their cover in tandem with Oswald. With very little hesitation, Oswald shoots. His bullets pass through the hard light from his side while simultaneously deflecting the bullets on the other. Both lions fall to the ground, their blood oozing onto the marble flooring. Holy fuck! I suddenly feel very weak as I see the lions' lifeless bodies on the floor. Oswald just killed 2 men right in front of me without a second thought. Part of me wants to avoid all this bloodshed, to crawl up in a corner of the room and just ignore all the bullets flying around. But at the same time, I didn't have the time to process any of the rest of my thoughts at all as Oswald vaults over the cover of the first row, attaching the hard light emitter onto the other table. He twists it to face the other 2 rows before the hard light covers rise again. Oswald prepares to fire. However, a barrage of bullets flies from the 3rd row, several lions standing up to fire at the wolf, including Diego and Roland. the hard light breaks from the barrage, forcing Oswald to duck for immediate cover. The Lions continue to shoot, but while they're focused their fire on Oswald, two of the Lions fall to the floor all of a sudden. Coming from the corner of everyone's vision, a shadowed figure jumps from cover to cover. Their cloak is the only thing that signifies anyone being in the cover by the other side of the room. Benji! While the other Lions have their focus on Benji, one of them, from the second row, starts rushing toward Oswald with a hard light shield. The Lion vaults over from the table, cornering Oswald with his cover. The wolf tries to shoot, but he's swiftly blocked and disarmed. I instinctively almost screamed Oswald's name, but managed to stop. Just stand down! Oswald doesn't speak as a shield continues to push down onto him. All of a sudden, he holds onto its rim with both hands. In one quick motion, he gets the shield out of the way and headbutts his assailant, putting them into a daze. In another short moment, he reaches for the rifle, which was only an arm's reach away, but the gun instead gravitates towards Oswald, landing perfectly in his grip. With his other hand, he takes the table behind him and lifts it with one hand before slamming it on the Lion, incapacitating them. The Lion's roar of pain is cut short by Oswald's bullet flying straight through his forehead. While he's preoccupied with his assailant, the other Lions from the third row take a stand and attempt to take a few shots at their enemy. As they shoot, however, none of the bullets manage to travel as far as a golden trail weaves in between them and Oswald, seemingly catching the bullets mid-flight. Another set of Lions arrive to shoot. Benji emerges from his cover as well, and they try to trade a few bullets, but the golden trail once again weaves in between the ensuing gunfire. When both sides were done, they both lowered back to their respective covers. I crawl closer to the central stage, giving me a bit of a visual on the Lion's side. Vayu, what in the blazes are you doing? From the golden trail materializes the Fennec, his hands full of bullets. He drops them, which results in the sounds of hollow metal falling to the floor. Opening fire is a huge hazard. I'm trying to minimize any threats and hazards to the people, whether it comes from the intruders or from you Lions. Vayu tugs onto his scarf, taking a breath before dashing once more into his signature golden blur. In an instant, he appears in the direction of Benji's cover. In one swift motion, he takes the raccoon and flings him with great speed onto the open. The thief slams into the central stage, dazed. No more games from you savages! Time to come out of hiding! Diego, now! On it! Noticing the raccoon exposed, he rushes out of cover at full speed. Without hesitation, Oswald reveals himself, intending to take a shot at Diego, but his vision is immediately obscured by Vayu appearing in front of him. Heh! Caught you! Though the Fennec is smaller, it doesn't stop him from kicking Oswald clean in the face. Oswald stumbles to the right of the stage, somehow managing to keep a firm grip on his gun. Vayu is quick to react and disarms the wolf with another kick, forcing the wolf to loosen his hold and allowing Vayu to fling the gun away. With Oswald distracted, Vayu restrains the wolf with a hard light blade. On the other side of the hall, Diego successfully catches Benji off guard, not allowing the raccoon to stand his ground with his gun. Benji attempts to push the Lion off of him, but Diego is too strong. Both sides are in a deadlock of strength, and Benji needs something to change the tide in his favor. Come on, Adrian, think. What could tip the scales? I frantically look around for something to help. There's a metal pole next to me. No, I'll risk getting shot down. Maybe the curtains? They might be too far for me to take them unnoticed. What can I use here? Suddenly, I notice something from the corner of my eye. Benji's pistol! It's definitely within arm's reach, but there's only one pistol. I need to decide who needs it more. Oh, shit. Benji, you need to handle yourself a little longer. God, even the odds. Oswald just needs an opening. I quickly reach for the pistol, flinging it to Oswald's direction. Wolf quickly takes notice of the gun, taking the Fennec by surprise as the hitman pulls him by his non-metallic arm. Oswald takes the pistol, aiming it directly on the Omega squad member's face, causing Vayu to retreat backward in a golden flash. Oswald reaches for his rifle, the gun floating to his hands as he immediately takes some more shots towards his adversary, with Vayu retreating to a far-off cover. Meanwhile, Diego and Benji were still stuck in a deadlock. Diego tries his best to restrain the raccoon, but Benji doesn't budge at all. Suddenly, a bullet pierces through Benji's shoulder, blood gushing through the hole. Roland shot Benji to beat the deadlock. I had it under control. Diego lifts the now injured adversary before him, slamming the raccoon to the wall. You're welcome. Oswald hides behind the cover, our intercoms powering up on my earpiece. I'll cover you from the Fennec. Go help Benji! Wolf throws back the pistol my way. I quickly nod and crawl closer to Benji's position, the thief now helplessly suspended in the air by Diego's grip. I quickly take some cover close to Benji. The raccoon struggles to put up a fight. Roland and Diego quickly close in on their prey, their faces filled with now unbridled rage. It's quite intimidating to even stare at this whole situation, but at the same time, I can't take my eyes off the raccoon while he's in danger. Quickly survey my surroundings once more, trying to see if there's anything I can use to help Benji. Of course, I had his pistol, and maybe a few quick shots will do the trick. There's also the sound panel that got dropped when the tables were all upturned. Though the wires are all jumbled now, it's surprisingly still working. I need to set it up again, and it'll take some time, but if I could replicate the feedback from earlier... As I continue to find anything useful that could help Benji, the raccoon quickly screams in pain as the lines push him deeper into the marble walls. I had to make up my mind fast. Maybe just hollering their way will be enough? Fuck. Okay, if we use the gun, there's the possibility that we'll shoot Benji. If we cause a distraction, then we might get shot. And if we try to use the sound system, we could take too long and Benji could get killed. Shit. Alright, gotta move fast. Quickly straighten the sound panels as I fumble through the wires and settings. Try my best to remember what caused the feedback, at least as close as I can to it. Pressure keeps piling on as I hear Benji struggling in the background. My gaze tunnel vision on making sure this gamble works. With one final twist of a knob, a high-pitched roar from the speakers rages through the wall, disorienting everybody in the building. I couldn't see if Benji was able to escape, but at the very least I should keep the lines busy. Couldn't even process moving when Vayu quickly appears before me and tosses me out of the cover. In one swift motion, both of my arms are locked in hard light restraints. My attempts to stand forcibly stopped by the Fennec's surprisingly strong step. Huh, a third nuisance it seems. Shame it has to be a husky bunching up with a raccoon of all things. He's not... Silence! They'll join you soon. From the distance I hear the faint scream of a familiar voice. Adrian! I can see Benji's feet, each step reverberating through the floor. He stands tall in the open field, outside of any cover. Hear the lions trying to raise their weapons, ready to shoot, but the Fennec quickly stops them. I said no guns, you numbskulls! You can't get that in your... A firm step from Benji interrupts the Fennec. Fast fucker. Time to level the playing field. Benji drags the soles of his shoes on the floor repeatedly. Vayu's hold on me only tightens as his foot on my back puts more force on it. Alright. Benji kneels, striking a pose very similar to sprinters in an Olympic race. Soul Drifters, activate! In an instant, a sudden burst of wind blows across us, the impact catching the Fennec off guard. As the weight of his foot loosens on me, I feel someone lift me during the chaos. It was Benji, who was already on the move the second Vayu and the lines were able to recover. Hey! Hang tight, Adrian. Suddenly, there was a whirring below me that got louder and louder, with both Benji and I getting propelled forward in tandem with it. For that second, I drifted just a bit from the raccoon's back, but my restraints dissolved with it. My reflexes pushing me to hold on to Benji before the both of us went flying across the other end of the building. What's going- Oh, fuck! Benji and I are moving so fast that everything was a blur, and none of the pillars and walls stopped our momentum. He'd swerve with great precision and even latch on to any walls he could get his hands on, each motion coursing through my entire body. What is this? It's my shoes. They're like really high-grade roller skates. Now, hold on, I'll distract him. Benji uses one of his skates to take a quick turn towards the lions. Raccoon unwaveringly tunnel-visioned onto a straight trajectory. For my peripherals, however, Vayu quickly shows himself, lunging to grab hold of me and Benji. Despite that, Benji presses on, causing the Fennec to miss by a few inches. That Brainiac's inventions better work. From Benji's flowing cloak, the raccoon takes out 2 canisters, gives them a quick shake before tossing them at Roland and Diego's feet. Both canisters explode in a cloud of smoke, spreading even after that. Holy crap, smoke bombs?! Yeah, the cat's new tech. Left it at my doorstep just before this whole fuckfest. Now put your mask on. I do as he says and activate my mask, causing it to materialize on my muzzle. Once that was done, Benji quickly turns around back in the direction of the smoke cloud. As we make a slingshot of ourselves into the fray, Vayu appears in front of us, clear annoyance and anger on his face. Alright, that's it! You idiots are gonna know your fucking place! Vayu rushes at us into a golden trail, but Benji doesn't falter. Instead, he leans down as he flings me upwards, causing a gap to form between us. As Vayu materializes at the end of his trail, he misses again, caught in the gap between the two of us. In one quick motion, Benji flings another canister at the Fennec and grabs me, leaving me little time to react as we enter the smoke cloud. Holy shit, how'd you do that? His blinking around, it has a sign of his endpoint. Just had to figure out where it was. Let's leave him in blazes, Adrian. Right! We accelerate as Benji's shoulder pockets light up, the opening trailing smoke as well. Wherever we go, we left a trail of smoke behind us, the raccoon leaping into the air to avoid the tables as they come into view. Before I know it, we're out of the cloud, Benji holding 2 canisters in each hand. Oswald, target practice! From our sides, Oswald peeks out of his cover, with Benji flinging one canister after another into the air. Oswald quickly takes shots at them, the bombs exploding mid-air. The clouds enveloped the center of the hall, with Benji turning around once more. He begins to circle the large smoke cloud, the smoke following the wind that blew past us. A few rounds slowly turn the cloud into a twister of smoke, further disorienting Vayu and the lions. When all's said and done, Benji stops spinning around, sliding just by Oswald's side. Come on, let's get all other disoriented. Benji drops me down gently as we all make a run for the back entrance on the ground floor. Quickly reach it without a hitch, which is a relief given how the rest of the mission went. As Benji flings the door open, Corvus was there waiting for us in the alley. Evening, gentle Corvus, open the doors! To be continued. Oh. Huh. Huh. Oh. Is that it? Huh. I thought there was more. Oh well. It was definitely worth the wait. It was absolutely worth the wait. At least, to me, it was worth the wait. Yep, everyone lived. Stay safe, have a good night, and I will see you all tomorrow.